of Africa spawn hostile territory. Predators dominate. The great Savannah Cats, shrewd and powerful, enforce a war of survival.
Lying across the equator in Africa is a great grass plain. In Tanzania, it is known as the Serengeti. But here in Kenya, it is called the Masai Mara, which means the spotted land in the Masai language. A layer of ash spread like a blanket by ancient volcanoes has made this one of the most productive ecosystems the world has ever known. The huge herds of herbivores that graze the grasslands are balanced by the 5 great land predators found here on the savanna. 3 of these carnivores are members of a single family, the cats. The dense bush and tall trees of the riverine forest are home to Africa's largest spotted cat, the leopard. The leopard is the most versatile of the cats. It prefers woodland, where there are tall trees and thickets. The other 2 great cats are adapted to life on the grassland. The lion is the largest and most dramatic of the 2. Its power, combined with its ability to cooperate, put it firmly at the top of the hierarchy. The cheetah is the essence of grace and elegance. Long-legged, lean, the world's fastest land mammal is so specialized that it has wagered its very survival on a 300-yard sprint. This cheetah has just given birth to 4 cubs. A high of 8 has been recorded, but 4 is the average. Females can produce their first litter at 2 years old, and thereafter every 21 to 24 months. In its quest for speed, the cheetah has forfeited the weapons to defend its young, and 50% of all cubs are killed within the first 3 months. The upper part of a cub's body is covered in a smoky gray mantle of long hair that helps with camouflage. But still, the mother moves them every second day to prevent a buildup of scent that could betray their hiding place to an enemy. The den is little more than an area of flattened grass situated near the cheetah's hunting area. One of the local lionesses also has small cubs. They too were born blind and almost helpless. The mother will suckle them for a few weeks on her own before returning to the pride when they're big enough to compete with the older cubs. Nearby in the grassland, another mother has given birth. The Thompson's gazelle eats her afterbirth to get rid of all trace of scent. The young fawn is well camouflaged, so for the first 2 weeks of its life, it will hide while the doe grazes nearby. The only time mother and child come together is to suckle. The mother cheetah is still weak from the birth. She cannot reach top speed. She needs to be successful, but at the same time, she must save energy. No easy task. It is here that her experience plays a part. She watches a recently burnt area about 400 yards from the herd. She knows that sooner or later, a young fawn will lift its head looking for its mother. The long vision of the cheetah is legendary, and she can spot a fawn from as far away as a quarter mile. Now she displays a trait common to all cats. She toys with her prey. Undoubtedly, the cheetah gets enjoyment from the hunt, as well as the food it will provide. A gazelle fawn is ideal prey for the nursing mother. Small and easily caught, it can be carried to the shelter of a bush where it will not attract the attention of vultures that might bring unwanted predators near to where the cubs are hidden. The Maasai are a pastoral people who have lived here for centuries, sharing the grass and the water with the game. The mother cheetah watches them with a wary eye, but as long as she leaves their stock alone, she will be in no danger. On the other side of the Maasai, the lions watch the herd of cattle. They too have learned from past experience that to attack the cattle will mean death at the hands of the tribesmen. A pregnant female has joined the suckling lioness. Within days, she too will give birth, and the cubs can be raised together. This is in contrast to the cheetah mother, who must raise her cubs on her own. The mother has managed to move her cubs into a patch of bush which has survived the fire. All 4 cubs are alive, but now she must move them again to a less exposed den site in taller grass with more cover. By chance, the hunting lioness has chosen to hunt through the same bush as the mother cheetah and her cubs. She will kill all the cubs if she can find them. The cheetah is unable to defend her cubs. Nature does not make noble gestures. The survival of one fertile, experienced female cheetah is more important than 4 expendable cubs. The mother tries to decoy the lioness, but the lioness instincts tell her that the cubs are nearby. She waits for the bird-like chirp of the cubs calling for their mother. The cubs remain frozen, relying on their camouflage that 1,000 generations have given them. Finally, the lioness loses patience and moves on. The cubs are safe for now. The mother cheetah knows the lioness will probably return. It is time to move. The cubs are 4 weeks old and mobile, so instead of carrying them one by one, she calls. Cheetahs cannot count, so when 3 cubs respond, she doesn't realize that the runt of the litter is frozen with fear in the grass. The cheetah mother ignores the elephants. They represent no danger to her or the cubs. She is very nervous. On the burned grass, the cub's mantle is no longer effective as a camouflage, making them vulnerable to large eagles. When she finally hears the distress call, she hesitates. She's worried about leaving the rest of the litter, even though she's making the move in the heat of the day when most predators are not active. By now, even the strongest of the cubs is exhausted, and there is long grass ahead. She will have to carry them one at a time. The lioness is also moving her cubs to a new lair. The birth has resulted in a buildup of scent that could attract the attention of hyenas, major predators of lion cubs at this age. Like the cheetah, they are picked up and carried tenderly in jaws that can crush the neck of a wildebeest. The cheetah cub's father and his brother are litter mates. They are the dominant males of the area. Together, they mark and remark their territorial boundaries. At the same time, they search for chemical messages that tell them a female is coming into estrus. Cheetahs are generally thought to live alone, and while this is true among the females, about 60% of the males form lifelong coalitions of 2 or even 3 individuals. Marking is sometimes carried out on top of termite mounds or up trees where the breeze can spread the scent further. Lions also form coalitions. The marsh pride, so called because its territory is centered in the Musiara Marsh, is dominated by 2 brothers. The size of the pride varies as the new cubs are born and older lions leave or die. But ultimately, it depends on how many animals the area can support in lean times. Dominant males do not hold the territory for long. 2 years is a good tenure, and longer than 4 is exceptional. Single cheetahs hunt every 2nd or 3rd day, but our nursing mother is forced to feed more often. Buffaloes are the largest of the grazers that live on the plains, and they are far beyond the cheetah's prey range. She's not interested. But the lions are. The lion is the only predator big and strong enough to tackle a healthy adult buffalo, though it sometimes takes the combined efforts of the pride to pull down a full-grown 1,800-pound bull. The lionesses move in on a broad front, hoping to isolate and surround the single animal. But an over-eager subadult male rushes ahead and spoils the attack. Unknown to the cheetah, the buffalo are stampeding through the area where her cubs are hidden. The frustrated mother lioness is still hungry. She turns to smaller prey. But lions must pay a penalty for their power. They sacrifice speed for strength, and this Thompson's gazelle is just too fast for her. The Thompson's gazelle is the second fastest animal on the grasslands. Only a cheetah can outsprint it. So it is not surprising that over half of the cheetah's prey are gazelles. The chase starts slowly. Once the cheetah has selected her prey, she accelerates. The gazelle has a top speed of 50 miles per hour. The cheetah peaks at 70. But the gazelle does have one advantage: stamina. If it can stay ahead for 300 yards, it will get away. To sustain its great speed, the cheetah's body needs massive amounts of oxygen. It has large lungs and wide nostrils. It can also raise its normal breathing rate from 16 breaths per minute to up to 156. But its weakness lies in its inability to get rid of heat fast enough. And if it keeps running for too long, it can overheat and die. Cheetahs, like all cats, use strangulation to kill their prey. The exhausted gazelle dies quickly. Unlike the lioness, the cheetah does not have the strength to defend her kill against scavengers. Instead, she concentrates on getting as much food as she can in the shortest time. The elephants are eating at the exact spot where she left her cubs. In this case, the cub's instinct to freeze in the grass has been fatal. Fortunately, the other 3 cubs have crawled away to safety. Although it would appear the cub was trampled by the elephants, it's much more likely it was killed by the stampeding buffaloes. At first, the mother cannot believe her cub is dead. Then, an interesting thing happens. She eats the tiny carcass. Perhaps it's like a burial, and she's preventing it from being eaten by jackals, hyenas, or vultures. It has been a tragic day for the cheetah family. But ironically, for the 3 remaining cubs, their chances of survival have been increased. For the mother, there is one less mouth to feed. contrast to the cheetahs, the lions are active at night. The dominant males are patrolling and marking their territory. The lionesses have rejoined the pride, so now there is a total of 6 cubs. Tonight, one mother is guard and nursemaid to all of the cubs, while the rest of the pride hunt. With the help of darkness and cooperation, the pride has succeeded where they failed individually in daylight. One of the mothers returns to call her sister and the cubs. Hungry lions are very aggressive, and cubs are often killed in the feeding frenzy. But tonight, there's enough meat on the buffalo to satisfy the whole pride. Lion cubs start eating solid food soon after they get their milk teeth at 4 weeks. However, they will not be completely weaned until they're between 7 and 10 months old. The vanguard of the great migration herds arrive on the morrow. 1.6 million animals, many wildebeest and zebra, on a never-ending search for grass and water. Some from as far away as the dry eastern plains of the great Serengeti, across the border in Tanzania. For the 2 cheetah brothers, the arrival of the wildebeest opens new opportunities. Each of them weighs over 100 pounds. That's 20 pounds more than the female. And between them, they can hunt adult wildebeest. They scatter the herd looking for a suitable victim. A half-grown animal would be ideal. They target a young animal and increase speed. Unfortunately for them, the herd bull is experienced and places himself between them and the yearling. It would never use this defensive technique against lions. Eventually, the cheetahs have to retreat. An animal that is so dependent on its speed cannot take a chance of injury. The arrival of the migration is not good news for the mother cheetah and her family. A 500-pound wildebeest is too big for her to hunt, while the many large predators that follow the herds increase the threat to her and her cubs. The big herds also scatter the gazelles and make them difficult to find. The cubs are growing fast, and the mother must kill every day to keep up her milk. Wildebeest must drink at least every other day, but they are wary of the water hole, for bitter experience has taught them that danger often lurks in ambush. A lioness can charge at 40 miles an hour, but she cannot keep it up for long. So as an experienced hunter, the mother lioness knows she must start her attack from within 30 yards if she's going to be successful. She waits. Now Now, the sheer number of wildebeest is a disadvantage. They impede each other in the confusion. Speed has played its part. Now, strength takes over. Experience has taught the mother cheetah that impalas are often found where the bush fringes the grasslands. Some unseen and unheard signal warns the cubs to stay behind and allow her to hunt. If she were hard-pressed, she could probably take this ram. But why risk injury when there are many ewes and subadults? The impala tries a technique called starting. By kicking its back legs, it indicates to the cheetah that it is fit and healthy and difficult to catch. However, in this case, the maneuver costs the inexperienced animal valuable seconds. The mother keeps watch until the cubs have had their fill before she feeds. There is always a danger that the scent of a kill will attract enemies, such as lions or hyenas, so as soon as they have eaten, she leads them away. The lion pride is also doing well. The cubs can suckle from either of the females, and as they play together, they establish strong bonds. The great herds mean that there is no shortage of food. The birth of the cubs has been timed to perfection. The fact that there are many animals does not always mean that the hunting will be simple. Many ears and eyes are tuned to detecting stalking lions. But the mothers are experienced and successful hunters. Here, they cooperate to outwit the prey. One moves out in full view of the herd, while the other takes up a position behind. When the first lioness isolates a bull, she drives it into the trap. There is no escape. can be very affectionate. The mothers are clearly satisfied at the success of this hunt. Only when the male is well fed will the cubs join him on the kill. One of the cubs has developed a kink in her tail. It will be interesting to see if it affects her balance as an adult. Against the green grass, their mantles are less effective as a camouflage. It is well known that of all the big cats, the cheetah spends more time teaching its young to hunt. Now the mother is preparing them for the day when she must leave them. So when one of them stumbles on a young impala, she watches but does not interfere. The cubs find the fleeing impala irresistible, but the method of killing has to be learned. The lion cubs are just over a year old, and of the 6, 5 have survived. This is well above normal. On average, 7 out of 10 die. By now, the cubs know their place within the pride, and they are the first to give way when one of the dominant males arrives to claim what is left of the kill. The cheetah cubs are now 18 months old. One day, the mother comes into estrus and leaves. The break is sudden and complete. She simply walks away, abandoning the kinky-tailed cub and her brothers. From now on, they're on their own, and they will have to fend for themselves. The female sets off in search of a mate. Since cheetah territories can extend for hundreds of square miles, locating a suitable male can be a problem. She starts by leaving chemical messages advertising her condition. These brothers soon pick up the scent, and they respond by also scent-marking prominent positions. Both the female and the brothers use calls to locate each other. Finally, they make contact. The courtship can last for up to a week, and it is believed that the competition among the males brings on ovulation. The subsequent mating is brief and is the male cheetah's sole contribution to the next generation. The pangs of hunger soon sharpen the cub's hunting skills. The kinky-tail cub, though smaller than her two brothers, makes up in heart for what she lacks in size. Her crooked tail does not seem to be a handicap. The kill is a cooperative, untidy, and brutal affair. But it does bring 3 hungry cheetahs much-needed meat and opens the door to their independence. In evolutionary terms, the cheetah is in fact a lucky survivor. Its limited gene base reveals that it came very close to extinction. The resulting inbreeding creates a danger of abnormalities. The king cheetah is the result of a recessive gene that produces this exquisite coloring. One day, the kinky-tailed cheetah will also come into estrus and the litter will break up. She will leave to learn the methods of motherhood. And it will be interesting to see if any of her offspring have crooked tails. The two brothers will go off to look for a territory of their own and introduce their genes into the system as their father has done. But they still have a lot to learn. Making a kill is one thing, defending it is another. From its position high in the trees, the female leopard hears the kill. She moves in to investigate. The leopard, in turn, is outranked by hyenas. But once it has reached the safety of the trees, even a powerful opportunist like the hyena can only wait and hope for a lucky accident. It has been nearly 2 years since the mother lioness gave birth, and now it is time for her to mate again. Although male lions are very jealous of any outside sexual competition, where a pride is dominated by several males, they seem to share the females on a first-come, first-served basis. And over the next 4 days, she will mate an incredible 140 times. For both the cheetah and the lioness, another cycle has begun. But what kind of world will the next generation be born into? Can they survive the assault of humankind's exploding population? Will the vast herds still be there to make their annual migration? To the east of the Mara, humans have already sacrificed the diversity of a wild system and gambled on one exotic grass: wheat. Tractors have replaced elephants. Fences have replaced natural barriers. But it is not only the cheetah and wildlife that have lost out. These were valuable grazing lands for the Maasai. Now, their cattle must graze areas that previously were rested under their rotational grazing system. The land becomes overgrazed and eroded. Once productive grasslands turn into scrub, and the running cheetah risk injury. Ironically, the wheat scheme will only be a short-term success. Monocultures soon exhaust the soil, and Africa's erratic rainfall, combined with its relentless insect populations, will eventually finish it. But by that time, the animals will be gone. This is how it once was, and this is how it is now. Undoubtedly, the wildlife's future is in the hands of human beings. Perhaps these visitors do not know it, but the interaction they're having right now is the future to saving this endangered cat. 1.8 million tourists visit Kenya every year. Westerners will, it is estimated, spend $40 billion in Africa by the turn of the century. Their reason for visiting the continent is the drama of life in the wild. The lion and the cheetah are its stars. But as more and more land is appropriated for misguided agricultural schemes, the national game parks will become overcrowded. This cheetah cub was run over by an insensitive driver, overeager to please the tourists. Yet, if we can find a balance, they, and indeed all wildlife, can become a self-sustaining way of utilizing the marginal lands of Africa. Valuable foreign currency can be earned, which in turn can improve the lot of the people sharing the ecosystem with the cheetah and the lion. This symbiotic relationship could preserve the marvelous diversity of Africa. Given sufficient land and good management, our children and our children's children will still be able to see the big cats running across the great grasslands of Africa.